Well, here's a strange one for today, but here's the thing. I am someone who has to go with the flow, and I work my best when I follow the instincts and the insights as they come to me. And tonight, after a really full and insane and different kind of day, I decided that I'm going to come and do what I'm doing right now. So, of course, yesterday was Mother's Day, and my mom recently had a stroke. I mean, within this week, basically. And I just found out I'm going to be a grandma again, and I've got a preemie baby in the hospital right now in the NICU who's growing and getting stronger. But, and then, I keep thinking about my current partner, Gary, about his mom, and she passed away a few years ago, around during COVID time. She developed acute myeloma. I'm not going to say it right, but the acute myeloid leukemia. That's close. And she just went so fast. And so one of the reasons I've been thinking about her, also in all of this is because Gary's dad is staying with us right now as he recuperates from a medical procedure. And I was taking a walk with him yesterday. And he was telling me the story about basically when, before his wife passed away, it was like September, and my partner's got a brother who had been out on the streets, kind of chronically homeless for a number of reasons. And Gary's stepdad or dad, who's staying with us right now, was telling me that he had promised Gary's mom that he would make sure that Gary's dad would be taken care of. And at the time, they were trying really hard to get him into an apartment as opposed to being on the streets, basically. So Gary's dad made a promise to her in September, basically, that he would make sure, because that's when she got sick. That's when she found out. She got sick dramatically and quickly, and that's when they found out what was going on with her. And he made that promise to her in September. And if I remember right, and I could be wrong, but she passed away in January. But before she did, again, he promised that he would make sure that her son, who was chronically homeless and out on the street, would be taken care of. And there's just some challenges lately about that. He is in an apartment now, thank goodness, and he has been for a while. I think he's been able to stay in there for over a year, which is wonderful. But, that really got me thinking about Gary's mom. And then when we were coming back from our walk today, we were slowly coming down the sidewalk, and Gary's dad, again, had started talking to me about how they decided to put an engraving of Lily of the Valley flower on her gravestone because it was very symbolic and super meaningful for the family. And here we are walking down the pathway up to the house, and I pointed out to him the potted plant. We have a potted lily of the valley that someone had given Gary years ago, and I helped revive it last year so that it is now blooming again. And then I pointed that out to Gary's dad, and then of course after that I passed by our beautiful purple iris on the left that makes me think of my mom, because that's like her favorite flower is the iris. And I am an extremely spiritual person. Okay. And I always have been ever since I was as early as I can remember. And I don't really have a lot of memories before about 7 years old, but I can remember I've always been very spiritual, not religious, but spiritual and loosely as well, because I am open to all kinds of ideas and concepts and truths and philosophies and stuff like that. And I think the truth can be gleaned from many of them, but let's set that aside for a minute. I did spend a lot of time in churches and things like that, right? And tonight, after making dinner for Gary's dad and everything, and before we go on his evening walk, as we are just waiting for it to cool down enough so it's not too hot for him. But before we go out, I needed to sit here and decompress for a minute, first of all. Secondly, I'm experiencing so much stuff right now in life, changes and parent needs and things like that, that it's just a big flurry. But I was in the kitchen and, talking to Gary's dad about how appropriate Lily of the Valley was, not only because it's the flower of her homeland, basically, like where she kind of identifies culturally, Finland, basically. But also, I was telling him that, the Bible makes reference to Lily of the Valley. And I know, and how much she would love that, because just by living here and seeing notes and cards that she's left for Gary and written to kids and her grandkids in books and things, I could tell she was a pretty religious person. She believed a lot in the Bible and she had a strong faith and she was always trying to encourage other people. And it's funny because she's not with us anymore, but there are imprints of her all over the place here. And I've always felt, I'm here and I'm with her son. And that always has been such an honor to me anyway. And I've even talked to her before. And I just hope, here I go. I've told her that I really hope that she's happy, that she's happy, that he's with me, and I just want to be for him the kind of woman that she wishes her son could be with, for the rest of his living days. Oh my God, here I go. I just want to make her proud. I've never met her, but I feel her, around. And then it got me thinking about my mom too, because my mom just had a stroke. And the other day we were FaceTiming her, and I just had this urge to want to sing to her because I know she was such a music person. It's where I get that. It's where I get it from. And I wanted to sing to her, but I just kind of didn't because my other sister was sort of dominating the conversation, which is fine. But next time I talk to my mom, or she can't talk because her language is probably permanently very negatively affected. But I know that if I sing to her, who knows? I want to try it. And I want to sing to her songs that she knows from way back when. And there's a song that I know that every lady in any generation that came before me would know this song. I remember the church ladies, that were older than me, they used to love singing this song. And I'm only going to do like 2 verses and chorus, basically, but I'm going to sing this total old-timey church hymn a cappella just because, if I can make it through it. It's funny. I think about my grandma too. My family asked me to sing at my grandmother's memorial service. I was asked to sing at my son-in-law's grandma's memorial service. I've actually been asked to do this many times. Speaking of mothers, you know what I mean? We also knew a family in the church whose mother, they were all coming back from a vacation and they got in a terrible accident. And the husband and wife and then the kids were all in the van. And I don't want to say it right now because I don't want to trigger anything, but she did not make it with her kids there. It was so bad. It was so hard on them, and it was really hard on the church family. But when it was time for her memorial service, her family had asked me if I would sing at her service. I mean, so singing it's not really a big deal, but for me, it's like a way that it's a gift that I can give, right? So I was telling Gary's dad about this song because it's called Lily of the Valley and it's a church hymn. And I told him, I guarantee that his wife, that passed now, but I can guarantee that she knows this song. And I just decided I wanted to come and sing it because one day maybe his family will find this video and they'll know, how much that I love his dad, first of all, that I love their dad. And maybe he'll see it and go and know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but so Mom, who is still with us, thankfully, but Diane, who is Gary's mom, this song is especially for you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what else? Real quick. My daughter came to visit today for a little bit. The one that just found out a few weeks ago that she's pregnant. She came to tell me the sex of the baby, and she came to bring me a Mother's Day present. She and my son-in-law. And then while they were here, we were talking about his grandma. And they were asking me if I could remember what her middle name was. I couldn't. So I said, listen, guys, let's look it up. Let's find her obituary. Which is what we did. So this is for you too. And I know she knows this song. So here we go. I'm just singing a church hymn, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. This is a gift of love, and this is a very spiritual moment for me, and I'm just sharing it with the world. That's it. So I mostly have this memorized from back in the day when I was doing a lot of church. But I'm going to have to look at the lyrics sometimes, okay? Okay, just cool the tears down. I have found a friend in Jesus. He's everything to me. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. The lily of the valley, in him alone I see all I need to cleanse and make me fully whole. In sorrow he's my comfort, in trouble he's my stay. He tells me every care on him to roll. He's the lily of the valley, the bright and morning star. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. He has all my grief has taken, and all my sorrows borne. In temptation he's my strong and mighty tower. I have all for him forsaken, and all my idols torn from my heart, and now I know he'll keep me by his power. Though all the world forsake me, and Satan tempt me sore, through Jesus I shall safely reach the shore. He's the lily of the valley, the bright morning star. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. He's the lily of the valley, the bright morning star. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. Yeah, I just wanted to sing it. I've been in the kitchen the whole time I was making dinner. I was humming and humming and humming and singing the song. And I thought, you know what? I just got to get this message into the world or just get these thoughts out there. So maybe you have a mom or a grandma, in a nursing home and you're going to a visit. And you can take this and play it for her too. Okay, so signing off. This is Jo. Thanks for listening. Bye.